Okay, so we've been stuck at home for a few weeks now because of COVID-19, and so we've had plenty of time to play a few games of solitaire. And after we'd lost the fourth game in a row, my wife asked me, "So what are the odds of actually winning this game?" So I Googled it and found there wasn't really a great answer, which does make sense. It's going to be based on the strategy you use. But I didn't really want an exact answer. I just wanted to know, like, how often am I going to win this game? And the related question, how much does strategy really impact your chances? So there's only one thing I could do. I spent a few days and wrote a little website that could play solitaire so I could test out different strategies and run enough iterations to get decent numbers on how different strategies performed. I found I needed to run 100,000 iterations before the results really stabilized. So the results. I first built a novice strategy that I thought emulated basic play and found that this strategy produced a win for 9.3% of games. Then I added rules one by one until I got my best strategy, which could win every 18.2% of games. Which is to say, don't be surprised if you're winning less than 1 out of every 10 games of solitaire. But that strategy really does make a huge difference. And you can nearly double your odds if you play smart and don't miss a move. To be clear, these odds are for 3-pick solitaire. 3-pick solitaire involves looking at every third card in the stock. 1-pick solitaire has a much higher success rate, but all the same strategy applies. So is 18.2% success rate the best possible? No, it's just the best strategy I came up with. I did search the web, and I didn't find any better suggestions for strategy, but if you have any ideas, please send them along. I'd love to try them out. Anyway, that's the answer. You're probably winning between 9 and 18% of the games you play. Still curious? You can play with the app yourself or keep listening for a complete breakdown of my best strategy so far. Okay, on to the strategy. Here are the rules I added, and as you see, there's not many, and each one made a surprisingly big impact. Strategy 1. Exposing tableau cards is more important than building your foundation. So to be clear, these are the tableaus and this is your foundation. The highest priority is always to expose hidden tableau cards. This is much more important than building your foundation. This is pretty apparent once you've played a few games, since games are usually lost because of cards trapped under your tableaus. For this example, the most immediately attractive move is to move this 4 of hearts to the foundation, but this is the wrong move. Instead, moving the card to the tableau that can expose a new tableau card is always the better move. Also, moves taking cards out of the foundation are both hard to spot and are counterintuitive since your ultimate goal is to build your foundation. But again, exposing tableau cards is always the first priority. There are 4.2% of games you won't win if you prefer adding to your foundation over exposing hidden tableau cards. Strategy 2. Don't make moves that have no immediate value. This does sound pretty obvious, and most examples are too trivial to bother showing, but there is one key example that is important. If you have a move to clear an entire tableau deck, do not do it until you have a useful king to move into that spot. There might be other opportunities you miss moving this card too soon. I know it sounds like a marginal edge case, but there are at least 1.3% of games you will not win if you do not follow this rule. The next strategy is the least obvious, but it has a huge impact. If you have the chance of exposing a card on 2 different tableau stacks, always pick the deck that has the most unexposed cards. Here, this deck has 1 unexposed card, and this has 3, so pick the one with 3. Intuitively, you can kind of see that you want to attack the biggest deck on the off chance you'll get a longer run of successive cards exposed. But this sounds pretty marginal. But statistically, it can make a big difference. 1.6% of games cannot be won without this approach. The final piece of the puzzle isn't a strategy. They are just moves you might miss. They are moving tableau cards mid-stack to free up foundation moves. Spotting all of these are critical, since 3.6% of games can't be won without this type of move. And that's it. That will get you to 18% success rate if you are a computer. I've been playing with strategies involving memorizing cards as they're revealed and predicting which cards will come up next, but I really don't like this since the calculations involved aren't really realistic for humans, although they may well be able to bump up the computer's best percentages. If you have any other ideas for strategies, drop me a line, or you can check out the app yourself. You're welcome to the code if you want to tinker. Find the links in the description below, and thanks for your time.